What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Dead State. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today. As always, I say that every single episode, but seriously, it brings me joy to have you here. There's nothing better than having one's work placed before your peers and having them come to view it, and so I welcome you. I welcome you back to the Nerd Castle for yet another episode. Let's hang out for a little bit, shall we? In the previous episode, we had decided to go after the militia because they're a bunch of racist assholes. Not necessarily, that wasn't the reason, but they're also holding this girl over here. So we'll see if she's going to be useful to us at all. It's going to be disappointing if we went through all this and expended the ammo and she turns out to be not so great. But oh well, what can you do sometimes? We got Victor all ready to go, and he's only got 2 AP left. Let's bypass his turn. I think he already did his thing in the previous episode anyways. Troy's still bleeding out on this side. We got a 5% chance to hit right there. Let's move it up slightly and give ourselves 100, shall we? So bam, down he goes. Shotgun shell to the face. Buckshot applied probably where it's not supposed to go. I would assume that buckshot should be shot towards a buck, not towards a human. I don't think that's where it goes, but still, we're using improvised weaponry right now. It's the apocalypse. You gotta do what you gotta do. On one side, they did add a change in the most recent patch where now we can loot people who are unconscious and just leave them there to bleed out. I don't know if that's going to be worth doing, but it can be done right now. Let's go ahead and finish them off, though, because I don't want them to be coming back or becoming Zeds or anything like that. They are fairly well armed, and I think that if I can eliminate the large majority of them... I think he has Apocalypse armor on. I had wanted a suit of Apocalypse armor, so we'll see if that's going to actually be any good. If it will suit us, if you will. I think I've already done it. If it'll suit us when people shoot us, it's okay. It'll work for right now. Let's give him a shell. He got 41 right there. And he should be down. That leaves us with one last friend to deal with on the left-hand side. And by friend, I mean bullet soak. And so he's taken 110 points of damage. Let's draw out a line of sight real fast so that he can't get a shot off on Victor. We got a couple of big guys coming in. They might be able to take a shot at Victor before we can accomplish anything else. Let's migrate around slightly, and then we'll take him out before he has the chance to loose his barrels at us. Because obviously I don't want another man to unleash his tube at us. We got a shot off right there. That's a hunting rifle. We're going to have to watch out for that damage. It is a very real, tangible, and credible threat right now. However, let's leave Paul lined up back behind all this stuff. I'm going to see if I can get them to come around this way. I know that I've used the Collie Buds joke over and over and over again, but seriously, Come Around is like one of the greatest songs ever made in the genre of reggae. And so we've got that right there. We'll reload. I'm going to keep Paul right where he's at. I'm going to draw back Victor. We're going to reload him because I think these guys are going to represent a very, very real threat that needs to be dealt with. We got a piercing weapon and we got a hunting rifle, so that's 2 pieces of equipment that can do some serious damage if we give them the proper line of sight to do it. So let's make sure they have no line, shall we? 0 lines up in here. Not a single line. Like a discotheque in the 70s. No lines to be found anywhere, although that might... Well, I'm trying to say that they used all the lines, but you know what I mean. That might not have been the best way to word it. So, Paulie, I can't help but notice you're still on fire. Or does that mean he's flammable? Like, what actually technically is going wrong with Paul right now? Yeah, sure, give him another one. Is he actually taking damage right now on his turn? Let's find out. Got a couple of dogs headed in. It doesn't. I think he might be flammable right now. I think what might have happened is he threw out some kind of coating like oil bomb or something. I don't know. He's not losing health right now, which leads me to believe chances are that he's not actually on fire. I take damage when I'm on fire. It causes my skin to bubble. I've never been on fire, but I lit my hand. Well, I covered my hand in boiling glue one time from a glue gun on accident, and that was probably the worst burn I've ever had. It didn't scar though, weirdly enough. I ended up with a big old streak of hot glue all over the side of my hand. It burned a bunch of the skin off and was bleeding everywhere, and damn did that hurt. It happened when I was 11 or 12 years old. Burns hurt a lot. Like, burns hurt, I don't know, I'd rather be cut, I'd rather be hit with something, I'd rather have a protuberance, but a big old burn is just not something that is fun to deal with. And so I have no idea what degree the burn was, but the skin came off, it had a big hole, and it didn't leave a scar. Strangely enough, it looks fine now. I guess things might have happened in my favor when it came to my biological systems, but I don't know. There's no Overwatch in this game, I don't think, so I would sit here and Overwatch and wait for them to come around the cabinets, but I got nothing. I think they're waiting it out just like we're waiting it out. It's because they can't get into these 2 slots right here where they want to take their turn. Let's move around slightly, shall we? Move all of my gunners up into here. I don't know why I felt like I wasn't quite well enough armed for this whole thing. We actually blew our way through it very, very literally. Came through here and just put holes in everybody because it was within the confines of our capabilities. I don't know. I thought this was going to be a lot worse, but I guess they filtered through at a rate that was acceptable. I don't know. I feel like we were going to come to war with these guys anyway, so we might as well hit them now. Take care of the problem on the early side rather than taking care of the problem on... Oh, they can't get back here because these two bodies, they're blocking the way. Alright. Well, let's get that all opened up here. We'll eliminate that guy. Step up. That'll leave Paul in position. Or somebody in position anyways to deal with this other body. We got a bat right here. What we're doing with flying rodents, I don't know. But we'll get them on out of the... Bats are adorable. I like bats. They are an animal that I find to be very, very cutesses. They are totally adorbs with their little watery eyes. I just want to hug them and be like, hey, bat, you want to be friend? We can flit around together. I'll throw rocks up in the air for you. That's what we used to do back when we would camp. We'd camp out in areas where there were a lot of fruit bats around. Ooh, do we have zombies coming in? That might be why they're actually... distracted for right now. Let's step forward, shall we? Let's be very, very offensive in this case. I think we've got a big hole for us to move through, and damn it, if there's a hole, we're gonna move straight through it. That's the Splattercat way. Ah, we got crossbowmen now. And that guy's got himself one of those 38 specials, the really, really nice one that does a lot of damage. Over here, we got enough AP left to deal with him. So deal with him we shall. 61 points of damage away. On this side, we got Tweedletime all lined up. Paul's using the wrong weapon, so I'll have to fix that in just a moment. But, to my understanding, he should have enough to swap weapons and also open fire. The guy with the crossbow is a problem. And when someone is a problem, we gotta get rid of him. I don't want to die. Well, you should have teamed up with a better class of human beings then, shouldn't you? I'll never understand why they always have bad guys beg for it. It's gotta be just like a plot device to make the viewer angry and hate the bad guy even more. When the bad guys plead for their lives after they spent their time, like, murdering, pillaging, and marauding. I don't know. It tweaks something inside of me that's like, yeah, you don't get off that easy, amigo. I'm sorry, but that's just the way the world works. You don't get to beg your way out of this one. What have I said before? Live by the sword, die by the sword. It's a very, very real thing to consider before you decide to be a violent moral casualty. So it looks like the dogs are... I don't know what's happening over there with the dogs. I'm not too sure. Either way, let's plan a little excursion outside of the building. Let's walk through an open field because obviously in the middle of a gun battle, that's always the best plan. Finish that guy off and keep on moving. We got a bowman coming out. Step over to here. That's going to leave us... Ah, I went one too far. Okay, well, hopefully Polyboy can take care of the plan before we go any further. I'm going to try and get all up in his business right here so that on the next turn, if we have to, we can take some shots. I'm also trying to get a feel for what's happening over on this side. Did we take out his, like, right-hand man? Got commandos, rifleman, sharpshooter. I don't see the named guy with the hat anywhere. We may have to deal with him in a minute. That's what I was hoping would happen right there. And so once again, buckshot applied very, very aggressively to the side of our opponent's faces. Is that the end of it? We might have a horde coming in, which would be really, really bad, but let's just chill for a second and see what happens. I'm gonna have everybody regroup by the red car. We'll get our reload on too. I don't know what those are right there. It looks like a collection of dog bowls, I think. Really, really big dog bowls, which would make sense considering they do have dogs around here. So I guess I was thinking about it in terms of the zombie apocalypse. Why would somebody perfectly line up dog bowls right there? But somebody took the time to do it, probably because they have dogs. When I had a dog, I had a dog bowl, so it makes sense. We got one last dog in here. Let's take a moment and reload, shall we? I'm actually probably going to have Tweedletime handle this. I'd like everybody to have a full magazine, though, right now. Just in the off chance this gets a little bit more wild than we expected. It's already gotten very, very shooty. It looks like there's a couple more people on the map. They might be bleeding out, though. Let me handle this dog real fast with my electrical taser. Or my electrical baton. Okay, so who remains? Not sure. Let's continue to draw forward. I'm hoping that we didn't get stuck in combat. So this guy right here, he's got the long-barreled 357, I think. A big old hand cannon, something that can hit us from a while away, too, so... I don't know if he's bugged or what's wrong with him. It seems the best plan to have Tweedletime go first, though. He's got a shield and whatnot. He's only got a corrugated steel shield. So we should be able to damage straight through it, maybe. Ooh, 17. This could get expensive. So there's 9 right there. We were only able to accomplish, like, what? 26 points of damage on that turn? That's not good. Sniper rifle for 0% from the backfield. We're going to have to move up a little bit before that's going to be any type of, like, reliable. We'll move Troy into maybe a little bit wide. And then we'll put Tweedle Time right here, which will allow him, hopefully, to soak the shot. If he still decides to fire at Paul, I guess that'll be that, and there's not going to be much I could do about it. It'll definitely cast a Paul over this combat. However, Paul is hanging in there, so he's not as quite as damaged as he was about, 20 minutes ago when he was really looking like he was hanging on by tendons and threads. There's another one. Okay. Gate guards might end up hitting us with something that, oh no, he's got a Glock right now. I don't think that's a long barrel Magnum. Yeah, he's not going to be able to accomplish much right here. Aside from drawing deaders in, I guess. It might be worth the effort to throw out the acid right now, although he needs a closer range. Can you get him from right there? Yeah, let's try the chemical damage for right now. That seems alright. Continue to step forward. So wait, why can't you throw that over to there? That didn't do anything. No, don't do that. Why would I ever command you to do that? That's a terrible plan. Alright, move forward. We just got to deal with these guys before this gets any further out of hand. We got 100% from right there. I'll probably move Troy up to be side by side. I'm hoping they don't have grenades or anything like that. If they do, this is going to get out of control really, really fast. Tweedle Time, keep on stepping. Deal whatever damage you can, and if you can daze them, that works too. Knock them down, hell. I don't mind. That guy's panicked, so he's probably going to make a run for it, which is good because we need time for our noise levels to come down anyways. 22 points of damage right there. This guy's just going to be a damage sponge. We got 79 away, actually, so we might actually finish him off right here. There it is. So now that he's down. Not going to have Troy fire. We're just going to wait this one out. When he comes back, what I'll do right here is we'll finish him off. Okay, so 63 points of damage right there and a little bit more. Beating a guy up behind a pickup. It's like one of those weird things that happens in small town America. Hiding behind the pickup, beating a dude up. Aw, yeah. Can I get him from right there? Let's start off on this cat then. If he was actually a literal cat, I wouldn't be shooting at him. I'd be like, feel free to murder me, you adorable, adorable edifice of nature. 100 points of damage right there from the rifle. Wow. And then with a 45% chance, we finally got him. And so does that conclude our stay here, or do we still have people to deal with? The dead guy over there. Who do we still have to deal with? A couple of Zeds and a couple of Bleeders, I guess. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for right now, but I have the sneaking suspicion that we might be trapped in combat again. Alright, well I'm sorry about that one. Essentially what ended up happening is I accidentally shot my own character, so that's why there's a cut right here. I misclicked and I shot my own character. And then apparently the game is designed to where if you accidentally misclick and shoot one of your own characters, they all go hostile and kill the guy who shot them. And so I had to reload a save and redo the entire last fight because of a misclick. As much as I enjoy redoing a 20-minute fight on a misclick, ah well, what are you going to do? But this is where we are right now. We came out a little bit better this time. We had already won the other fight. There was like one mob left, and I misclicked, and I shot my own guy. It was like, damn it. It was just like one of those little things that, it'll drive you crazy. Got that dog over there. Okay, so we should have just about the entire area cleared out. These guys over here should be able to handle any interference coming from the Zeds. I don't know how many more guys are going to be in here and how many of these are like bleeders. That one should be gone. Yeah, I was going to say. While these guys all attempt to bleed out, there's actually a surprising amount of people watching the walls around here. But I don't think it's actually going to turn out to be that bad. The fight, all in all, was a lot easier than I expected it to be. I thought the fight was going to be a lot nastier. Aside from that one grenade that hit Paul, nothing really went wrong right there. Now, ultimately, it didn't matter because I had to reload a save because they all went psycho mode. But my question for the developers would be this. Is there any function to players shooting their own characters? Is there any reason for that to be in the game? So for example, in Final Fantasy, there are tangible reasons why you would hit your own character to get rid of like a confuse effect, or to get rid of a sleep effect. You could hit your own character to get it off. In this game, is there a reason for you to hit your own character? And if not, my suggestion would be that they remove that feature entirely, because right now the punishment does not fit the crime. If you misclick and you accidentally shoot or hit one of your own characters, they all go hostile until they murder the character who did it, when it was a simple misclick or an accident. If it serves no function, then essentially you've got an accident that exists within the game waiting to happen that doesn't need to exist when you could just block that off in the first place and make it so that it wouldn't happen. It's kind of like one of those little things to just mull about, because I know the developers actively are working on the game and whatever. I've already expressed my opinions about that and how I feel that it's sort of pointless at this point because they've already missed the first influx of customers, but nonetheless, it's one of those little things that logically I would say that, well, if there's no benefit to hitting your own characters, why leave it in the game? Then just remove that real fast so that the accident doesn't happen in the first place, and so you don't have to reload a mid-combat save. Attack dog is hit for 5 points. Where's the attack dog at? Is it that one right there? Here, finish off the dog real quick. I don't even know what we're in combat with right now. Like, I've been stuck in combat this entire time. It says that there's still some dudes around, so I figure we'll have to, like, mill around a little bit and see if we can find them. Wish the game would let us out of combat. I know that in the last patch, the developers made it so it's harder to get out of combat now, just because their AI was not following people around corners. Now they made it so it, like, locks you in combat, but that's gonna have side effects that I think we are coming across right now, where we're stuck in combat even though there's nobody here trying to fight us. There's not a single soul out here trying to get up in our faces, and yet we're stuck in combat. So I'll give it a couple more minutes, and if we remain stuck, I don't know, I would hate to have another Austin situation. This will be, if I have to reload and fight again, this will be the third time I've done this fight. It looks like there's only 2 left on the map somewhere. One of them's going to be that one that's on the ground right there. Let's go handle him real fast. Maybe there's another one down this way. I don't know. There's lookouts all along the fence, too, so we should probably send people out and just see what we can locate here. Unfortunately, the turns are taking so long. Like, nothing's actually happening right now, but every now and again, the game just, like, sits here and bogs down and won't let you do anything. I think it's her fault, Parisa's fault, or whatever that girl's name that's up in the cage over there. I noticed in, like, the middle of the last combat, whenever she took her turn, she would just sit there and, like, spin in circles until she ran out of AP. And so I think that might be what's going wrong. We got another guy bleeding out over here. We'll finish this guy off in just a second. And that'll leave us with one unknown individual who we've yet to track down. I guess spread out and try and find him would be the only goal that I have for right now. If we can't find him by the end of the episode, I guess basically what I'll do is I'll cut it out. And I'll attempt anyways to locate him and kill him in between episodes so that we can get back in here and start off with the looting. And so there goes another one right there. There's apparently a attack dog around somewhere too that I guess I must have forgotten to kill. Let's send these guys back inside just to make sure that nobody looped around and that there's nobody sitting on the ground bleeding out in here. 2 more guys left. They gotta be around here somewhere. So I guess we'll hit the walls. Yeah, no choice. I really wish little things like this would be ironed out though. Like seriously, it's not conducive to an enjoyable gameplay experience. I'd be willing to bet they're probably in this back room over here, but moving around in turn-based mode when we could be running around in just like real-time mode would be way, way better. That would be for sure. I would love to not be in this combat anymore. Send these 2 in. They're more than well armed enough to make sure that if anything shows up, we should be able to put holes in it pretty quickly. You'd think that they would have come through the back, though, if they had heard the combat in the front room. You would think, anyways. But it looks like we got a dog and an... Oh, look, it let us out of combat finally. So you just got to complain about it enough. That's how you get it to work, is you just got to complain a whole lot. And then once you complain enough, they'll let you out of combat all by your lonesome. Let's reload. Get everybody set to active, because there are still active combatants on the battlefield that we need to deal with. There are still threats milling about. Where they're at, I don't know. But they're here somewhere. Refrigerators. We'll check this back room. And then we'll check the back alley. Looks like we got a number of things back here. A medical bed, which is pretty cool. It's actually stain resistant. It's liquid resistance too. Go ahead, pour any liquid you want on that thing right there and watch it just drip right off. Watch it drip, drip, drip right off. Like, well, damn. This car's a little wrecked up over here, but... Oh, there they are. Almost walked right by him. Snake would have bit me. Okay, well, that explains a number of things. Why they were fighting with... Yeah, that explains why in my combat log I was seeing things fight with zombies and stuff like that, but we should be... Can I get a shot off right here? Let's get the crossbowman on this turn if we can. There it is right there. Crossbowman's down. And then over here we'll get rid of the dog. Dog's down with a single shot for 122 from Troy. We'll 50-50 it over there. I didn't know if he'd make their shot or not, but I figured I'd go for it since why not? We're already bogged down in this place. We might as well just take our shot. There's also a number of locations on this map where you can shoot through walls. When I was clearing this out the second time, it actually allowed me to go back through, and I was able to fire through like one of these barricades over here. It was interesting. Like, there's a lot of problems with this map right here. I had enemies firing at me through little walls and things. Just random stuff to think about along the way. I don't even know if most of this stuff has been play tested. That's the part that I really don't know about. Once you get far enough back in the game, you kind of wonder if they just gave it like a cursory glance through and then just like bounce through, because they would actively have to have a save, right? The developers would, to get to this point and fiddle around with it. I don't know. Grab some gas from right there, and then let's talk to Parisa so that at least we have some payoff to this whole adventure. The woman gestures wildly at you with her bound hands as much as can be allowed and tosses her head emphatically. Hold still, I'll get you out of those restraints. No sooner do you cut the ropes than the woman yanks the gag out of her mouth and spits on the ground, coughing. Sons of bitches! Fucking assholes! Locking me up and mocking me! She lets out an angry screech and puts her head in her hands to collect herself. I'm sorry about that. I can't believe you actually killed all of them. I should be upset. I really should, but I'm the honest type, and they had me in a damn cage, so to hell with all of them. Look, I can't really thank you enough. You saved my life. I'm Dr. Shirazi. Just call me Parisa. It'll sound a lot better than Muslim bitch and terrorist whore. Yeah, pretty much those two. Those militia jackasses weren't terribly creative. Jefferson said something about you creating the virus. Creating it? That guy was a fucking lunatic. I'm with the CDC. Not that an idiot like that guy would know what we were trying to do. How did somebody from the CDC get here in the first place? I was with a convoy, but something happened, and I got separated from my unit. It was just me, a soldier, and a colleague. The soldier got bit and turned, and my colleague got killed by some militia sympathizers. They were ready to kill me too, but they saw my name tag and took me hostage instead. They dragged me here and traded me to these bastards. Why did they trade you? Because I'm a doctor and a scientist, and because I think I can come up with a cure for the undead virus. I really think I can do it, just not here. They don't have the equipment that I need. And having a threat of do this or die over my head isn't exactly an ideal working condition. Would you want to come back to my shelter? We could promise better sleeping conditions at least. Oh my god, I thought you'd never ask. If you have toilets and the ability to sleep without being tied up and work without being side-eyed and yelled at, it sounds like a luxury hotel. Throw in some coffee and I'll bump that up to resort. At any rate, I'm in. Welcome aboard, Dr. Shirazi. Well, now we got two doctors, so just in case you were wondering that our medical capabilities weren't taken care of, we've got it all nice and covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick through this place a little bit. I'm going to break the episode off right here. I don't know what's going to want to be brought back versus what's going to be useful, not useful, etc. Really, SWAT gear. Huh. Okay, well, I don't know if that's better. It's lighter than what we have, but still. Let me grab some of the stuff out of here. I will see you all in the next episode. My name is Splattercat. Sorry about the inconvenience and the cuts and whatnot. I wasn't planning on shooting my own character, but it kind of just happened. So I'll see y'all later. Hi to everybody.